Today I want to talk about why most people fail at achieving their goals and changing themselves, and illustrate the type of person who actually is succeeding at their goals and living the life that they really want to live. At the end of the video, I'll be talking about the number one thing you can do today to avoid failing at your goals, so make sure you stick around for that. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dave, and this is Stumbling Towards Enlightenment. This channel is all about helping conscious creators to embody the versions of themselves who naturally achieve the goals that they want. So let's start by talking about the traditional way that people see life and why they struggle at achieving their goals. So this type of person believes that they have no control over their lives. They just do what society kind of tells them they should do, and they don't question the status quo. Ultimately, they believe they have no control and life is just predestined. It's just going to happen as it's going to happen. This person also blames everyone else for their problems. They don't take responsibility. Instead, they blame their parents, they blame society, they blame their boss, and they play the victim. And this disempowers them. They have no power to change anything, or at least they feel like that. This type of person also spends more time thinking about what's wrong with their lives and what they don't want than what they actually do want. And as a result of this, they tend to just get more of what they don't want. This person also tends to seek instant gratification. They want the shiny object right now. And they usually waste their money on stuff that provides no long-term value. So they'll buy alcohol, or they'll buy a new toy, a new car or a watch or something like that to give them that instant gratification. They're not able to delay gratification in return for something better and more valuable investment, like education or mindset. And speaking of mindset, they think mindset's kind of bullshit. They think it's all about just taking action, taking massive action. And yet they try to take action, but they run up against their limiting beliefs and their old mindset, and so they fall back again. They never look at the internal world. They only try to affect the external world. And if you watched my last video, I talked about this, how if you don't have the internal aligned, then the external is just a reflection of the internal. So if you don't change the internal, the external is not going to change. Even if you take tons of action, yes, you can change your internal by taking massive action, but that's the hard road. It's the hardest way to do it, and most people fail at that. And finally, this type of person is spiritually asleep. They're totally identified with their story, their thoughts, and their emotions, and there's no space, there's no awareness of themselves, there's no awareness of their conditioning, their patterns. They can't notice when they're lost in an old thought process, an old story that they've been telling themselves. They're spiritually asleep. So let's now talk about the new model, or the type of person who naturally achieves their goals and it's easier for them. This type of person understands and accepts that they are the sole creator of their life, that nobody can make them feel a certain way or think a certain way. They realize that they have control over what they're going to focus on. And because they take responsibility, they feel empowered. They're not the victim. They feel like the conscious creator. They get to decide. This type of person also focuses more on what they do want and doesn't think about what they don't want. And because they focus on what they do want, they move closer to it. This person also is able to delay gratification because they have a bigger goal. They have a clear goal and they have a bigger why. They have a stronger reason to delay gratification. What they're delaying it for is stronger, it's more valuable to them than that quick fix thing, that quick shot of dopamine. And they understand that the best investment they can make is in themselves. You know, if you can get the internal right, the external falls into place by itself. It's natural. And in the same vein, they realize that mindset is everything, because belief and actions flow from your beliefs, you can get the inside right, like I said, everything just flows from there. And lastly, this type of person is spiritually awakening, or they're more conscious. They're able to take stock of their internal world and to look at themselves and to notice if they're thinking a certain way or they're feeling a certain way. They're not unconscious. They're able to notice. When you notice, you can create change. And that brings us to the number one thing that you can do today if you want to stop failing at your goals. And I know that sounds harsh, and maybe you're not failing, but a lot of people, myself included, struggled for a long time at failing at things, getting to the 9-yard line or the 1-yard line and failing right before I get to the end zone. Why is that? And the number one thing is self-awareness, awareness of yourself. Why are you sabotaging yourself? Why was I sabotaging myself? If I can't look at myself and see the thoughts, the energy, the emotion in myself that is operating in the dark, in the unconsciousness, then I'll never be able to let it go. I'll never be able to see it and let it go and choose something else. But if you can't see yourself, if you're unaware of yourself, you can't see what's going on. There's no visibility, there's no awareness of yourself. So if you can start to cultivate the ability to look inside, notice yourself when the old patterns and the old conditioning are operating, and you can get in there and you can short circuit that pattern. The more you do that, the more your consciousness grows, your self-awareness grows, and these old patterns start to weaken and fade away. So that's the number one thing you can do if you want to start becoming the second version that we talked about, the person who is naturally achieving their goals. They're the ones who have access to the internal world and can start to prune out the old weeds and plant better flowers in the garden, so to speak. So that's going to do it for this video. If you're interested in working on becoming the second version of the person we talked about today, I am offering a one-on-one coaching program. It's totally free right now. It's in beta mode. I'm looking for beta clients, people to work with for free, to get feedback on the program. And I'm looking for 1 or 2 more people to join in this program. It's 4 weeks long. We meet once a week for an hour. We go through some information, and there's some exercises and worksheets you can do that'll help you to define all of these things we talked about. And by the end of the course, you're going to have a document that you can use to help move you in the direction of your goals. So it's a nice little program, and I'd love to get the chance to go through the material one-on-one with a few more clients, improve the program, get some feedback on it, all that good stuff. So anyway, if that interests you, just leave a comment below, and we'll connect and we can talk and discuss and see if there's a good fit, it's a good match. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was interesting to you, and if you got any value out of it, please like it, leave a comment below. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this, good or bad, hopefully good. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more content like this. I will be posting a couple videos a week, I think, on the subject of becoming the version of yourself who naturally lives the life that you desire. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.